as a reflection for June 8th and June 9th. I'm going to do them both at once because I didn't do it yesterday and I don't want to do two. It's also a June 7th kind of. I already reflected on that, but all three of the days kind of merged into one. I spent most of that time in bed. Wednesday was the most intense. I got out of bed and did a little bit on Thursday. Went on a walk, yada yada. Went on a drive. But the imagination, the part of myself that I thought I wasn't going to engage with much at all on this, meaning the mind, imagination, thinking, is coming through really strong. And it's not coming through strong in like, okay, I need to battle this or ignore this, but in a, listen to me. I got something to say. So in some ways, I'm curious to see what the new balance becomes, because playing the game of presence, feeling what I see, what I hear, really being here in an energetic sensing way, it's amazing. But I run out of the capacity. After a while, my focus wavers and the connection and the openness and the connection fades away. And obviously that's one of the things that I'm building my capacity around. So on my time off or away from that, I've talked about finding ways to nourish myself that are healthy. And so imagination's coming through pretty strongly right now. And one of the reasons that it is it's helping me connect with what I really want and get really clear. Because in the imagination, you can do anything. And so what's been coming through for me, curious how detailed I'm about to be. Because it's just pretty much 3 days straight of imagining is a long time. The overview of what I have been imagining is me back when I was younger, around 11, and a version of me coming into my family's life, myself and my brothers. My brothers have been a big part of it. And the version of me that comes in is from a different dimension and has become enlightened and whatnot. And he essentially just comes in and tells my parents, like, I'll train them in all sorts of ways, in combat and spirituality, philosophy, music, just a way of living, a way of being that will be very beneficial. As long as they commit, as long as they take an oath to finish what he called the trials, which would take 7 years. So from 12 to 18 for me. Every Sunday, just one time a week, all 24 hours, we'd go in and training. But in the training, we would go into a different dimension. And I got this part from Dragon Ball Z, where during one day on Earth, it was actually a full year in that dimension. So basically, instead of looking at it in the way of once a week for one day, we would go train. It's really once a year, we would come out of training for a week here on Earth and then go back into training and then come out of training for a week. And in that training, it would just be very deep, very expansive. And he could create worlds that we interact in and with. And so needless to say, that would have a really big impact on us. But it would also be wildly difficult. And so I imagined that, and then I imagined the philosophy that he would teach us. And then coming back during that week, we were still living our lives. We were still in school, playing sports, but we wound up taking up new activities, interacting with people in a very different way, obviously a much more mature way, but still having fun as a kid, hanging out at the beach, playing music, playing sports, beautiful girlfriends, great sex, all of it. And what wound up coming through was a merger of what it is that I want now and the connection to spirit and to God and enlightenment and being free of fear, free of need, all the stuff I've talked about on here. Merged with the part of me then that wanted great friendships, great relationships, to have fun, to be good at stuff, to be impactful on people in a positive way. And one of the things that's getting clearer for me is how much I resonate with the part of the integral model called the true, the good, and the beautiful. And essentially what the true, the good, and the beautiful is, and this is going to be my own words here. It's a very in-depth thing to break down the 4 quadrants and yada, yada, yada. But just the quick overview is, with the true is seeking truth. Seeking, consistently holding myself to seeking truth on any level, every level. Whether it be just in this moment, what's true right now for me, inside myself, how do I actually feel? What am I actually aware of? Those types of things, to a very broad, what is the truth of the universe, the depths of the universe. And so to seek truth and speak truth. And let that be a guiding post for integrity and for wonder and for exploration and for a lot of things. But it's easy to walk up to someone and be like, you're ugly. It's like, well, you're a dick. So that's where the goodness comes in. And the good is about, it's not about rejecting the bad. It's not about creating a dualistic split of good and bad and not engaging in the shadow and those types of things. It's about honoring that living in harmony with other humans is not an easy process, and seeking the goodness of everyone's heart and to live from the goodness of our own hearts, that takes, again, it takes integrity. It naturally will help us grow and become something more and open our hearts and to feel on a very deep level and to come into contact with our own darkness and all those things, but to live from goodness and to treat others in goodness is a valuable way to live. And in that, but also in life in general, to seek beauty and to see that in life, beauty is an inherent principle. That in the ancient Greeks, the word cosmos comes from ancient Greeks, and to them it didn't just mean universe, it meant the beauty inherent within the universe, the emanation of beauty in all things, in every particle of existence. So they believed that it was actually a substrate of reality, which is amazing. And so to learn to see beauty in all things, in my own reflection, and not just the positive, but the dark side as well, and just to learn to really connect with that is a very connecting process. And when we connect to that, we open ourselves to then add to it in a very powerful way. And so to seek beauty and then to add to the beauty of life. The true, the good, and the beautiful, and recognizing how amazing that is to me, and how all of that can be directed by love. That seeking truth is in a way an act of love to myself and honoring what is true for me and what is true for the universe and what is true for others. The goodness, living from the goodness of my heart, is an act of love. Seeking the beauty of all things, an act of love. And so holding that all within love, being a loving being, And so within my imaginings, living from the true, the good, and the beautiful, being a protector of the true and the good, the true, the good, and the beautiful, and being so stable in it, so steady in it, that just vibrates, just emanates to people, living from a deep state of love, emanating to people, treating people well, emanating to people. And doing that while I'm having fun as a kid, out with friends, just doing my thing. Yeah, there's so much more to the imagination that came through, and obviously tons of details, but it's really, and in it, one of the most powerful things, and this was also in the meditation I had a couple weeks ago or a week ago, I don't know how long. Time has melted the last few days. But it's essentially learning to show myself life through my eyes by showing others. Follow that one. So in these imaginations, I'm able to transfer energy to people. I'm able to transfer love to someone. They can feel this powerful love or calmness or whatever. And I'm able to transfer the light of God or spirit or deep vibration, whether it be through music or through touch or through whatever. And so essentially I'm showing them the light, the universe through my eyes, through my experience. But in doing that in the imagination, I experience it. Right? I can't show someone something that I don't have. And so in doing that, I wind up connecting to these things. And so I teared up several times during this, and I felt a lot of love, and giddiness and joy and fearlessness and all this stuff. And it's impactful. It's impactful on my system and my emotions and my energy. And so it's really connecting me with, Gandhi's quote, be the change you wish to see. In a way, it's like if you have a vision of the universe, Harry, that you think is beautiful, that is true, that is good, and that is beautiful, and that is rooted in love, show me. Show me. And so through this fantasizing, this imagining, I'm showing myself. I'm learning from myself what I actually want. And in part, it's what I already knew I want, but in part, it's like, oh man, that's what I wanted when I was a teenager. It's like all of my wants are coming forward, and it's this, they're no longer at odds in this imagining. It's like, oh yeah, I get everything. I get to be sexy and have great sex. I get to be tough and protect people in fights. I get to be gentle and kind and wise and smart and understanding and magnetic and deeply connected and spiritual and true, good, beautiful, all of it. Like I get to be all of it. Which feels like it's connecting to me to my wholeness a lot more. And I'm excited to see how this emerges with the game of presence in a way, like in the sense that really seeking the true, the good, the beautiful, living from love, but feeling this moment, just being bathed in this moment. And if it's like, okay, show me how you want to do that, Harry. Oh, I want to. Okay, you see when I focus on the air, on the heater, and just the wah. But when I feel it, you feel that just kind of percussive vibration, and just sink into that. Feel the beauty of that. Feel it just vibrationally passing through you. And it's like, oh my gosh, tension falls away. It can even become euphoric. The sound of the heater can become euphoric because I'm showing myself the beauty of it. And the shift here for me is like, before it was like, I wanted the beauty to show itself to me, I think is what this shift is. It's like, okay, I believe there's beauty in everything. Just sit there and wait long enough and it'll come to you. Which is totally happens. It's a way that has worked for me. But this is different. This is like, show me how you want to experience beauty. Show me why you so deeply resonate with the beautiful. And it happens, it's just like, oh yeah, there, see that? When you feel that right there. It's like I'm teaching myself, I'm showing myself. Yeah, there you go. It's like teaching myself to play music. Like, yeah, feel the string. Feel every da-da-da. Uh-huh. There it is. Feels good. Now I'm feeling good. It feels good. And it feels like two parts of myself that have been at odds for a long time are not at odds right now. Often, for so long, my mind and my imagination got in the way of my meditations. Or some of my meditations, I guess, like the ones that included imagination, obviously they didn't, but the ones where I was trying to just feel into stillness or silence or space or focus on the energy versus like, yeah, dude, bring in the imagination, have it show you how. And I could be singing a different tune next week. Who's to say? That's where I am right now, and it feels good. I also got to see like more of the style that I really like. I've never been super into dressing with style. But it's like, oh yeah, I get to dress myself in this imagination. That's where I'm at.